up, girl?
Hey, girl. Hey. How you doing?
Hey. Oh,
Happy
that's
Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Not to ruin the magic, because this comes out the day before Cinco de Mayo.
But it's being recorded on Cinco de Mayo. You do the math.
You do the math, but you know what?
Here we are.
We're here.
Yeah, we are.
We're here and we're doing it.
Yeah, we are. Guess what? It's fucking cold, too.
It is chilly today.
What is it, 65?
Maybe.
It's too cold.
Maybe. I hope it's not that low.
Die of frostbite out here.
Yeah. All day on Saturday, the kids had games and stuff, and there was, I said...
Too cold.
I said, wow, it was raining, and our friend Darcy was like, really? And I was like, well, I mean, like a solid San Diego mist.
Yeah, like it was wet in the air.
Yeah.
You almost got the ground wet.
You could see it come down.
Fucked with your hair, you know?
Yeah. I had an umbrella. I got to use it. There were no drops on the umbrella. It was just wet.
Oh my God, that always cracks me up. We can never find any fucking umbrella when it actually rains.
Yeah. Brandon just recently put one in his truck. He's like, I don't know why I don't keep one in there. And I was like, yeah, idiot. And then he had it. And I was like, fucking thank God.
Oh, man, genius.
Someone's prepared.
Dude, I had one in my car for fucking years.
Yeah.
And forgot it was there.
Always, right? It's raining. Uh-oh, put your hood up.
Exactly. And I think eventually my mom was like, I'll take this if you're not going to use it. And I was like, shit, I didn't even know we had an umbrella.
And then you can't be like, no, it's mine.
I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Like I have the last 5 years. Yeah, go for it. You're going to actually use it.
Right.
And then now it's like I got the kids the like $5 umbrella from Target and they play with it and fuck it all up.
Mm-hmm. You don't do that. You can't open it inside or play with it because it's like bad luck and all that.
Are you, girl? I'm the most superstitious motherfucking person there is.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I thought,
freaking out and like throwing salt at them and whispering curses because they're like wafting it open and closed in the house. I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's so much bad luck around here. What are you guys doing?
Inviting spirits or whatever it is. I don't know what it does.
Either. I have no idea. But I have told them both it's bad luck. And the little one listens, but the older one, he's just his own little animal.
He doesn't give a shit.
He don't give a fuck.
He's like, give me a mirror.
Yeah, see? Crash.
That's
Psycho.
7 years.
He
His
thinks
whole
it's
life
hilarious.
over again.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
God damn!
It's really dangerous in San Diego when it rains, guys.
Yeah, it's the rain's not the dangerous part.
No, it's us idiots.
It's us trying to figure out how to navigate it.
Jesus Christ. What's your goddamn, Aaron?
Well, my goddamn is actually, there is a mangy coyote that lives by me.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
we
listen,
talking rabies mangy?
I don't think it's rabies. I think it's just literal mange. The poor fucking guy.
Great.
He is like a chupacabra. He has no hair left. He's got the skinniest little tail you ever did see. And they were puppies like not too long ago. So he's a relatively young guy. And
he ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna make it. And the dogs can fucking smell him. Like, they'll be inside the house and then just look up and be like, there's fucking something is dying out
Something
there.
is amiss. Ew,
yeah.
can
and
you
then they
smell
go
it?
out there. I can't. No.
Oh, God. I didn't know it had a smell. It makes sense it would.
It's dying. Yeah. It smells like death, I'd guess. But
The
then
dogs
they go
are
out
like,
there and they're
I
like,
want to
looking
lick
for him.
that.
I want to lick it a lot.
Where is that?
Yeah. And then you see the guy and he's like fucking hiding in the bush or whatever and he'll kind of slink away. We've got a million pictures of him and stuff. We called fucking animal control. Oh, I'll show you.
Yeah, has he got fucking rabies foaming at the mouth? What's going on here?
No, we called animal control and they're like, well, first, Brandon mumbles, and he's the one that called. And the guy, we was like, you got a coyote with mange, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, all right, well, just go ahead and trap it and bring it in. And Brandon was like, excuse me?
What? Yeah.
How?
I don't have the tools nor the special skills required for such a task.
I was allowed to do that either. Like, do I need a permit?
Like
Can
the
you write
Wild
me
West?
one?
What are you fucking talking about?
The fuck do you mean?
Yeah,
just
just
go ahead
create
and
a snare trap
it.
real quick. What?
Yeah.
Okay, Bear Grylls.
Right?
Fuck.
Here's 3 pictures. You're on the middle one.
Okay.
Oh,
shit. He ain't got no hair.
He
looks rough. He looks like the hyenas from The Lion King.
Yeah.
When they were starving because Scar couldn't feed them.
Yeah. There's even a picture of him scratching his little ear, and he looks more like that.
God. He looks hungry. He does.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he is scratching his little ear. He got fleas, man.
Yeah,
he got that mange.
He's not doing well. And
he has hair on his mane only.
Yeah.
Like he's a naked mole rat.
He is a little naked mole rat, and I feel so bad for him. And so animal control was like, trap it, and Brandon was like, I don't think
I don't want to.
I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? And the guy was like, it's just a cat. And Brandon's like, oh, no, it's a coyote. And the guy's like, oh, shit, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Then it completely changed. He's like, well, we can't do anything with coyotes. They're too smart. They avoid all the traps, blah, blah, blah. And so basically, unless he's not moving or dying, then they can't do anything.
Really? So he's
like,
just got to walk
fucking
around?
seriously? Yeah. He's
Well,
just
what
gonna
would they
walk
do?
around
Just
with
kill it?
Or treat it for mange.
They're not going to treat a coyote.
Why?
Because it's
contagious.
a wild animal.
Okay.
They'll just kill it.
You know, California is the only state that doesn't treat for it.
Really?
There's mange by mail programs, and they'll, like, you can just get a little fucking treat for mange or whatever,
And just,
and
like,
then
throw
put it
it
in
at
meat
it?
or something and throw it at them, and you can treat them, and they'll be fucking better.
Really?
You don't
I
have to
didn't know.
catch them. You don't have to do anything. You just toss it to them. Will not deliver to California. Absolutely not.
Why
Because
not?
it's illegal to fuck with wildlife here.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Is like, because it's a coyote, like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
fucking-
ants, you know?
Why? Like, I don't want to watch this dog die out my
For sure.
backyard. It sucks.
For sure.
I get mad. And then now I'm like, well, hey, is anybody in another state that could maybe get some mange by mail and send that shit to the P.O. box?
We do have a P.O. box. Hey,
Just
listen.
forward that shit to me because they will not deliver it here. I'm not actually asking for that, but like,
Wink, wink.
if it were to
anybody,
happen,
if anybody has,
I won't
a
eat any
hookup.
treats that I get in the P.O. box recently. Now,
they're called
going
mange
forward,
treats.
yeah, if it comes looking like it's gonna help a coyote.
Does it only take one like mange thing to like? How do you treat it? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess there's ivermectin or.
Oh, I don't
something
need
with a
the
B.
names of the actual medicine,
Yeah,
but is it
it's like
literally
some
just a
kinda-
pill you give
yeah,
them?
I guess. And you just fucking put it in meat or cheese or whatever and chuck it to them.
Is it like a flea treatment where you gotta do it once a month,
I don't know.
or is it like a one-time, one
But
and
he
done?
hangs out. He comes around. I will fucking set out a little tray for that motherfucker.
We
I
can
will
look up
feed him
natural
every day.
remedies for mange. Maybe he just needs eucalyptus oil and lavender.
There's so
fluffs.
much eucalyptus by my house.
See, okay,
Just
it's
rub
not
against
that.
those
It's
fucking
not that
barks,
one.
you know?
It's not that one.
I don't know, but I feel real bad for the guy, and I'm really sad that
That's
animal
the
control
option.
won't do anything. We've even called like rehabbers and stuff, and
Right.
they're like, "Yeah, we can't do anything either. Or they can't catch them." They said there's one with mange that's real bad, and he's missing a leg, and they can't even catch that fucker. And so they're like, he's got all of his legs. We can't do anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know nothing about coyotes. That's what I'm learning in this discussion. I'm like, they're street dogs. That's all I got.
I mean, they are essentially, but
I didn't know
like,
they were so smart and hard to catch.
more like canyon dogs. I guess. Who knew? I never tried to catch one. All right, what's your goddamn?
Oh, my goddamn. It's, typical fucking mom life. It's just that, oh, my goddamn household is getting sick again.
Oh no!
I know. It's
I feel
like,
like this is like every week now.
honestly, it was literally just a month ago that we went through shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Ugh,
I'm so
these
over
kids.
it. I think it's just because my younger one has started school for the first time,
Yeah.
So it's like he catches everything.
He's got to build up those immunities.
Yep. And then he at least collects it all and brings it home to us.
And then gets all up in your face because he just loves you.
Exactamundo. So this morning, Monday morning, waking up to go to school, just with a sense of dread in my heart, knowing that they're going to wake up with like stuffy noses and whining. And that's exactly what it was. They woke up and they're like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, fucking suck up your snot. We're going to class, bud.
Yeah. Oh, poor little guys.
So then drop off was like a nightmare too. So I just really want to die on the inside, but it's over now. So it's fine.
So
The
over
w-
now?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
worst is through it. Except for
Yeah.
they're getting sick for sure, and I'm sure they're going to be homesick
It's just going to be tomorrow.
sometime this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pray for me. Also, I woke up with a little bit of a sore throat. It's gone now, but I
thank
woke up
God.
with a little bit of a sore throat, and I was like, God damn it.
No.
Don't take me down. I was going to say, I need to eat some
Ivermectin?
emergency.
mail?
Yeah, you're like fucking naming it off by name. I'm like, damn, girl, I'm not trying to look up the pharmaceutical name for this treatment. I'm just wondering, is it like an ointment in the eye?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe my neighbor can get some from Mexico.
There you go. I don't know. Are we allowed in Mexico right now?
Well, he is. I don't know if he's allowed
But will
back.
he come back? Yeah, we don't know the fucking rules, man.
I don't know.
They
I don't
change
know.
it all the goddamn
They are
time.
changing all the time. But listen, I won't make him make a special trip, but if he's going, I'm
Right.
like, hey, man, get some of those mange pills. I don't know where you get those.
I don't either, man. We're going to have to look into it.
I feel like Mexico would want to treat their local coyotes. They'd be more,
I wonder
nice
if like
about it.
Arizona does. They're pretty close.
That's my other thing. Is like maybe if he's still around in a month or something, I can definitely not shuttle any across the border or whatever.
Illegally.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
I wouldn't do that.
Jesus Christ.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't
wouldn't do
either.
any of that.
I would never condone it. A P.O. Box 6275.
You don't
Whatever.
even know the P.O. box.
I don't. I never
You
pay
made me
attention.
forget it just now, though.
I thought for sure I accidentally said it right.
No.
What is it?
2764?
Oh, I didn't. I had two of the numbers right.
You did. I don't know if they were in the right order, and I'm not confident that I have the number right
It's
now.
all right. We don't have to say it till the end anyway.
Exactly. It'll come back to me.
Do you guys want to hear about murder, though?
I want nothing less.
Woo! All right. Well, tell me if you've heard this one, because it's kind of a well-known one.
Ooh, stop me if you've heard this one before.
But I didn't know it, so.
All right.
Typical. Fuck it, typical.
Yeah.
All the, like, old school, like, classic ones, I'm like, what's this?
Did you guys know that, like, a Jack the Ripper?
Yeah, right? Oh, my gosh. Or I think I know, I'm like, oh, I've heard this one, and then you'll tell it or something, and I'm like, holy shit, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew the gist.
Yeah. Those are the best, though.
So, this week, I'm going to tell you about the Clutter family.
Clutter.
I don't know if it's Clutter or Clutter. It's
Okay.
spelled Clutter, but then, like, the German spelling is Clutter. So, I don't really know if it's like we just changed the letters and then you keep the pronunciation.
I don't know either.
And you just have to be in the club to know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay, so we're going to start this story off in 1959
Okay.
in Holcomb, Kansas,
Okay.
which is a small, quiet farm town with wide open fields, unpaved roads.
Wide
and
open spaces.
Wide open spaces. Exactly. And this was like a really tight-knit community where people like rarely locked their doors. Everybody knew everybody. It's the kind of place where like trust was just given.
Did you say everybody locked their doors?
Did not lock
Oh,
their
okay.
door.
I was
Didn't
like-
lock their door. I don't know what I said. I probably said they did lock their door, but they don't lock their doors.
Okay. Makes
You know, I'll
sense.
just say the opposite of what I actually intend,
Yeah.
so this won't be confusing at all. Yeah, we'll be able to really follow the story very nicely.
They all loved each other. They all locked their doors, though. Fucking Jack would come by.
No. They all trusted each other, left the doors unlocked. Everybody knew everybody. Very small town.
Yeah, small town vibes.
Yeah,
Fun.
exactly.
Nice.
Like nothing bad ever happened here. Ba ba ba.
Literally, every time, everything you're saying is a song lyric.
I love days like that.
Yeah.
At the heart of this peaceful town lived the Clutter family,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like the picture-perfect post-war American family. They were very well liked and respected, and they were woven into the community very deeply.
Okay. We're in Kansas?
Kansas!
All
Yep.
right. All right.
We're in Kansas. Now, Herbert Clutter, he went by Herb. He was 48, and he was a prosperous wheat farmer who managed a 640-acre farm called River Valley Farm,
Damn.
right? He was admired for his strong work ethic, impeccable reputation, and leadership in the community. He didn't drink or smoke, and he expected the same discipline and like moral standards from his family. So, a snooze fest.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Very respectable man.
Very respectable man. But listen, don't try to push your ideals on me.
I don't
you
want
know?
your invisible rules.
Sometimes mom needs a cocktail.
Yeah, give me my Quaalude, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
59? Come on.
Honestly. He employed dozens of farm hands on his farm, and he was known to pay fair wages, which was very rare at the time. So it was very
Wow.
honorable.
Very good for him.
He was a founding member of the local Methodist Church Board and the president of the Kansas Conference of Farm Organization.
Okay.
So,
He's a real
obviously-
big farmer guy.
yeah, everybody knew his name.
Yeah.
So Bonnie Clutter,
Mhm.
his wife, she was 45, and she had once been a very lively social woman before her battle with what was then described as, quote, nervous tension. So she was like mentally ill with nervous tension. What
From Amityville?
yeah. Don't do it. That song will be stuck in my head for months.
I just said, you keep saying
Don't
song lyrics.
do it.
Nervous tension. Isn't that what they called it when they just needed to diddle the lady?
like
oh,
when she
she's
just
hysterical.
needed a fucking orgasm.
Yeah. And then
Maybe.
a doctor
Maybe
would
she
diddle her
just
and
needed her
like,
being flicked.
I'm fine now. I could go for another
I
month
feel
or
great.
so.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I had found this article right before you came of like
Okay.
way more information, of
Oh,
course, naturally. And I didn't get to read it all the way through. But from what I understand, I guess she was so ill that she was like in and out of like outpatient or inpatient care. Like she would go and stay for like a week at a time
Damn.
at like a mental hospital. And that was like normal accommodations for her, which I mean, like, fucking can I?
I get it.
Yeah, I understand the appeal.
A
Remember
week
no
on, week
smoking, no
off.
drinking?
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds horrible.
I'm gonna go smoke and drink over there.
Yeah.
Or at least get some Quaaludes.
Or at least just fucking lay down. Jesus.
This man's always farming.
This man's always farming. Kids are around, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Perfect
I'll
American
tell you
family.
about the kids. Yeah, exactly.
What are there, like 12 of them?
So today we would recognize her symptoms as chronic depression or anxiety.
Aw, that sucks.
But at the time, it was misunderstood and stigmatized.
Yeah.
She spent a lot of her time in bed, isolated in her upstairs room, but she remained a caring and gentle presence in her children's lives. Like, she was
Aw.
still a really good mom when she
Yeah.
could be. And it said that Herb never lost, like, his patience or anything with her, you know, like, through
Yeah.
all of that. So,
Oh, so he's actually a nice guy.
yeah. She cared deeply for the family, and he never lost his affection.
Yeah.
Anything
Good.
like that. It was just something they all dealt with. Nancy Clutter was one of the daughters. I think they had 4 or 5 children or something, but most of them are grown and out of the house, but there's 2 that are in the home still. So we
Okay.
have Nancy Clutter, who's 16, and she was the kind of teenager people described as the perfect girl, you know?
Mm.
She was a straight-A student, president of her class, a talented musician, and an active member of the 4-H and the Future Housemakers of America.
Jesus.
Homemakers, not the housemakers. Yeah, like
They're not building it. They're decorating it.
exactly. This is what I mean by like the fucking picturesque post-war American family.
Yeah.
Like they're like,
They're all doing their role.
yeah, even mom.
Yeah.
On her Quaaludes.
On their
literally.
Quaaludes.
Yeah.
I just need a fucking break. She's not allowed to have a cigarette.
God damn, honestly. So Nancy dated a local boy by the name of Bobby Roop and helped her mother around the house. She was known to bake pies for neighbors and teach younger girls how to sew and cook.
Wow.
Everyone in this little town knew Nancy, and she had a future, and it was big and bright. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, Kenyon Clutter was the boy. And
Kenyon?
Kenyon, yeah.
Oh.
He was 15, and he was more introverted than Nancy, but he was equally bright in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
He loved building electronics and tinkering with mechanical gadgets in the basement, which was a workshop that Herb had set up for him.
Wow, that's cool.
I know, right? He was tall for his age and had just gotten his first pair of glasses. And Kenyon didn't love school, but he loved machines, and he dreamed of becoming an engineer or an inventor.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like the background of the family.
Yeah.
Now, cut to Saturday, November 14th in 1959,
Mhm.
which was a remarkably normal day for the Clutter family. Now, I think because it was around Thanksgiving time frame, like they were trying to prepare for family coming to town, like the older children and their family and all that other stuff, right?
Okay.
Herb spent the day overseeing farm work and running errands around town. He even signed off on a $40,000 life insurance policy that morning, so that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Nancy helped a younger girl with baking lessons and chatted with her boyfriend Bobby on the phone, and she ended up writing in her diary and shit before she went to bed for the night.
As you do.
Yep. Kenyon worked on a project in the basement, and he watched TV, and Bonnie, the mom, mostly rested upstairs this day.
Okay.
That evening, they each settled into their bedrooms for bed just like they would any other night and drifted off to sleep. So now I'm going to go tell you about 2 other fools.
Okay.
So Richard Dick Hickok and Perry Smith. Yep.
So is Dick his nickname or is it his middle name? Did
That's
he go
his
by
nickname.
Dick?
That's his middle. That's his
Oh,
nickname. That's his
okay.
nickname. Sorry.
Okay.
I did just read it straight off like that was his fucking middle. Dick. Could you imagine?
We could call him Dick.
I think we might need to.
I don't know what he does, but he feels nefarious.
I wonder what his middle name is. No, Richard Dick.
Okay, Richard.
He went by Dick.
AKA Dick.
Yeah. And Perry Smith.
Okay.
Now, these 2 guys, they were inmates who
Uh-oh.
met each other while they were serving time in Kansas State Penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
Dick should have been just like a small town success story if you looked at his fucking life pre all this bullshit. Because he had been a standout athlete in high school. He was handsome, popular, smart, all that shit. His teacher thought he had like the best potential, right?
All right.
But he was in a devastating car accident and it left his face like misshapen.
Oh, his moneymaker?
Fucked up? Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
Can't get past this.
And it left him with psychological scars as well, and they never fully healed. And after the crash, his life took a sharp turn. He started spiraling into petty crime, like writing bad checks and stealing and gambling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
He talked a big talk and was always chasing like a quick payday and stuff. And by the time he had landed in prison, he was like desperate for something bigger. Like, okay, this isn't what I want, but I like this little robbery shit isn't. I want money. I want lots
like
of money.
the big score.
Yes.
He wants a heist.
Right.
All right. All
Okay.
right. He's going to go meet up with Lester.
Yeah, exactly. In prison, Dick shared a cell block with a man named Floyd Wells, who was a former farmhand that had worked for a Kansas farmer named Herbert Clutter.
Uh-oh.
So we got
He's like,
Floyd.
I know where you could find your big mark.
Exactly. I know a well-off farmer. Floyd mentioned that Herb was well off, and he allegedly kept $10,000 in a safe in his home.
Okay.
Now, that detail stuck in Dick's mind, and he started to concoct his next big heist.
Uh-oh.
He just needed someone to help him carry it out because he knew he couldn't do it alone.
Yeah.
So this is where Perry comes in. So he knows Perry from prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
Perry the platypus from prison.
Exactly. Perry the platypus from prison is Dick's man.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's like,
So-
I could be your number one man, your right-hand guy.
Precisely. And Dick had Perry like eaten out of his hand, out of the palm of his hand, because for some reason Perry had this need to like prove himself to Dick all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
So Perry, he had lived a childhood that could only be described as brutal.
Uh-oh.
It was awful. He was born to rodeo performers and raised in crushing poverty. That sounds great.
Not the crushing poverty, but rodeo performers, like a rodeo clown for a dad. And
Sounds great. Sounds fun.
I don't know what the women do. Raise cows.
I don't know.
You
I
know,
don't either.
whatever. I feel like they're dressed nice. Maybe she's also a rodeo clown.
Maybe.
Maybe
Who?
she's a ride operator.
Not in the 50s, not in the
For
almost 60s.
Carney. Yeah. Maybe she's the flag lady.
Oh,
You ride the
maybe.
horse out with the flag.
Right. I actually have no idea.
Either way, that does sound fun.
But
Not
it
the crushing
wasn't.
poverty.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess they were abusive because he bounced around from one abusive orphanage to another. He left, like,
Orphanage?
I don't know why his parents left him. I don't know what happened, but he was in some orphanages. He was abused. It wasn't great.
Okay.
His
Ugh.
father abandoned him. His mother died from alcohol-related complications. 2 of his siblings ended up dying by suicide. So it was a really sad backstory.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. His legs had also been badly injured in a motorcycle crash, and that left him with chronic pain and a limp.
Mm-hmm.
And he also likely suffered from untreated mental illness like PTSD and possibly a personality disorder.
Okay.
But Perry wasn't just violent. I guess he was violent in his past or whatever with his crimes and shit. He was also a contradiction because he liked to read philosophy, play guitar, love poetry and classical music, and he dreamed of escaping to Mexico or hunting for buried treasure in a jungle. So he was like whimsical, but like would pop off at the handle at like the slightest thing. So he was like unpredictable.
Okay.
It's assumed that this short fuse comes from his background.
Yeah.
Now, when Dick met Perry, the platypus from prison, he saw exactly what he needed. Someone capable of doing his dirty work, right? Like,
Yeah. This
okay.
guy's violent and
Exactly.
also trying to prove something.
Exactly.
Not a great combination.
100%. And Perry loved it because Dick was making him feel included and all this other shit.
Yeah. And he has a skill now that someone else needs.
Yeah.
That's,
And he felt respected by him, right?
yeah.
So Dick's plan was simple, in theory. He was going to break into the Clutter house, find the safe with Herb's $10,000, and take the money and eliminate the witnesses. Dick kept telling Perry there can be no witnesses.
Okay.
Okay.
Step 1, 2, and 3. Bing, bang, boom. Super
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, got a great plan, all for 10 grand.
Sure, but how? Yeah,
Which
for
was-
10 fucking
Which was
grand.
a lot of money then.
Yeah.
Still is a lot of money now.
I mean,
but
it's still a lot of money now, but like I wouldn't, I'm assuming, you know, where this is going, but I wouldn't kill 4 people for 10 grand.
right?
I wouldn't kill 4 people for 100 grand.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Well,
kind of fucked
you
up.
have morals.
I didn't meet Perry the Platypus in prison.
You
so
did not. You don't know how fucking enchanting he could be.
I don't. How
Or Dick.
whimsical.
Or
You know
how
what we could do
whimsical.
with that money? We could go treasure hunting with it.
In the
He
jungle.
might get me.
Honestly.
Where?
Honestly, me too.
Do you have a map?
Yeah, I'm in.
No, but I could draw one. Perfect.
No witnesses, you say? Look no further.
Easy. I hate it when people see me.
Okay, so in the fall of 1959, the pair were paroled and they stole a car, bought rope, a hunting knife, and a shotgun. So they are going to go execute their plan.
They were just paroling everybody.
They were out there, huh?
Do you have a plan where you're going to go? Yeah, I do.
I got some friends I'm going to go check out at a farmhouse.
Real nice family out there.
Kansas.
The fuck?
Yeah, pretty fucked up.
Ask some questions.
Honestly.
Watch them for a minute so they don't steal a car from the parking lot of your prison.
And head to commit another crime. So it's the night of November 14th, 1959.
Mm-hmm.
The Clutters are all sleeping calmly in their bed. Dick and Perry the Platypus from prison, they drive 400 miles across the plains of Kansas.
400 miles?
With growing excitement. They're fucking stoked. Like, they're...
Road trip?
Yeah, they're road tripping and they're game planning. They're like, we're going to fucking do this. This is going to be the best heist. Rah, 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 rah.
Oh, my
Hoorah,
God.
Right?
Just hyping each other up.
Yeah. They arrive at the Clutter home after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess they were driving earlier in the fucking day, too. 400 miles, that's a long way.
Feels like a long way, yeah. It's
like
probably a couple hours, like 4 to 6 hours, right?
Right? Yeah. At least. So they left at, I don't know, fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Who fucking knows?
Well,
but
they get
there.
paroled. It probably takes a while. You're out at noon, 1:30. You got to steal a car.
I don't know
It's
if
like
it was
2
all the
o'clock.
same day for the record, but they
All
do
right.
get paroled. And then they're like, we're going to fucking
Yeah.
live out our dreams. So they get to the farmhouse about midnight, after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And they quietly break into the farmhouse through an unlocked door. They just open the door and walk in. That's how they break
They
in.
quietly enter the farmhouse.
Exactly, because nothing is locked. Each member of the Clutter family were asleep and totally unaware that there were strangers approaching their house with a shotgun and a knife.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't care how nice your neighborhood is, and you can leave your doors unlocked all day, but, like, lock them at night. Who isn't locking doors at night?
I know. I grew up in a house that we never locked doors, ever.
Even at night?
Even at night. Ever. I
remember
start...
in high school, your door was never locked.
It still isn't. To this day, I have to tell my mom. I'm like, Mom,
Bro.
we're going to be gone for the fucking weekend. Lock the goddamn door.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
She ain't got shit to take, so let her
Gotta
be.
find her first.
Just let her be.
Let her be. Yeah, right?
Please.
Leave
Not
her
at- not at a
be
time like
happy
this.
with her little dog and
Yeah.
her craft room.
Yeah, exactly. Goddamn.
What do you need? A lot of fabric? Buy it. I'll donate you
I
some.
think that's actually still pretty common in a lot of areas, too, to leave your door unlocked.
I'm sure it is, but
Yeah.
at night, that's all I'm saying.
I
Just
know,
at
I
night,
know.
Fucking close that shit up.
Girl, I lock my shit during the day. I'm not fucking around. But we also have a
mine-
true crime podcast, so
That's true. Mine is constantly locked.
yeah. I'm like, ain't nobody getting to me.
Yeah.
They could totally if they wanted to, but like I'd hear them.
Yeah, you'd have at least some kind of a heads up.
Instead of this, they just walked in.
Yeah.
All right, so
Horrible.
Dick and Perry the Platypus walk in, and they wake up the family.
Wake them up?
Well,
You're not
I
even
think,
gonna
like-
fucking try?
I think they were like creeping around and slowly one by one wake them up, and they force the majority of them into a bathroom on the second floor, like everybody except for Herb.
Okay.
And they take Herb to the first floor office, and they're looking for the safe, right?
Mhm. That's where I would look, an office. For
Right.
sure.
But they don't find it. There
it's
is
in the
no
bedroom.
There's no safe there. And then they took Bonnie from the bathroom, the mom, and they tied her hands and gagged her and brought her to her room. And then they did the same for Nancy, the daughter, but she wasn't gagged for some reason. And then they took Herb and Kenyon, the son, to the basement. They tied Kenyon up with his hands behind his back. And then they took a rope and tied it to some like furnace piping or whatever so he couldn't like escape, you know?
Okay.
And they gagged him. They eventually, for some reason, untied him and brought him to a playroom. I don't know if it was in the basement or on the first floor or if it was just like a hangout room or what it was. But they take him
Sunroom.
exactly. They take him to some room with like a couch and they prop him up with like some pillows and lay him down on the couch. But he's still like his hands are tied up and he's still gagged.
Okay.
And they just leave him there.
The fuck? Make him comfy.
I know, like what?
Hey man, I know it's super late. You can lay down.
Yeah, I know you're probably really tired right now. I'm
Wow,
sure that
what are you,
adrenaline.
15? You really need your sleep.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. But I mean, this is what they're finding later, right? Like he's
Right,
propped up
right.
with pillows. What the fuck is going on? That's
Yeah.
fucking weird. So then Perry remains with Herb in the basement, who's tied up. They shoved him on a mattress on the floor in the basement. I don't know if it was already there, if they brought a mattress in or whatever, but they throw him on a floor in the mattress. And while Perry the Platypus is hanging out with Herb, Dick is searching around for the money in the safe around the house. Everybody's like tied up and put in their little areas, and he's searching the home.
And everybody is separate at this point.
Right. They're all separated. After realizing that the safe doesn't exist and there is no $10,000, the two discuss what they're going to do,
Because
right?
now they just have witnesses and nothing else of the plan.
And the whole plan was
Step 1, 2, 3.
leave no witnesses.
Yeah.
Number 3, no witnesses. Nobody
Oh,
lives.
no.
And they don't have 10 grand, but everybody's seeing their face.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You couldn't get a fucking mask?
See, okay, in that article that I didn't read all the way, there was something about like how the pair had stopped off at a grocery store or some shit and they were going to get stockings to put over their face. And
Smart.
I think Perry was worried about his eyes because they were blue or something, and they didn't want them to be able to identify him. And so he was like, I need black stockings so that they can't see the color of my eyes and all this shit. And then the lady at the store was like, we don't have black. And then Dick talked Perry the Platypus out of it and was like, that's too much money. We don't need to be spending money on stockings and shit. It's going to be fine. They're going to die anyway.
You're about to come up to $10,000.
Yeah, well, clearly nobody
thought.
was there to fucking help talk any kind of logic.
Yeah.
And so they're down in the basement, Dick, and Perry, with Herb lying on the mattress. And they're like, what the fuck are we going to do? There's no money. Like, what's the plan? And Perry, who had a notable short fuse, was like, fuck this shit, pulled out his fishing knife and slit Herb's throat.
Oh, my God.
Escalated pretty fucking quickly, my friend.
Yeah, it did.
Made the decision for both of them, then pulled out his shotgun and shot Herb in the head.
Oh, my God.
Killed Herb. Yeah, so now the decision is made. Like, well, no witnesses, so here's the plan. There it is.
I
Did
guess
it.
we'll just finish up.
This is my specialty, right? This is what you brought me.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
crazy enough to do the shit. So he does it. And then Perry goes into the playroom where Kenyon is, laying on the couch, and he shoots him in the head, point blank, right away. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck was happening.
Oh,
like,
my God.
They said that the Clutter family was so, like, cooperative. Like, it was clear they were trying to do what they wanted so that they wouldn't get harmed.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure.
yeah.
As
like,
most people, I'm sure, would.
and Perry had even made comments about Herb, saying that he was like the nicest guy ever. Like, he was so kind during the whole thing. And
What
he
the
still
fuck?
fucking slit his throat and shot his head. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So then they go upstairs to Nancy's room and kill her with the sawed-off shotgun, shoot her in the head, and do the same to Bonnie in her room.
Mm-hmm.
They then walk around and pick up all the spent shotgun shells, like cleaning up their mess.
Mm-hmm.
They ransack the home for anything else they could find, which they got a small radio, like a handheld radio, like a small radio, which I guess in the 60s was probably pretty cool. It was like a nano, you know, like a
Sure.
iPod shuffle.
iPod mini, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, as far as I was always aware, like, farmers make a lot of money, but they put it back into their farm. Like, they have
That's
a
exactly it.
$600,000 tractor, but they don't have, like...
Right. Well, that was exactly it. Herb had
Cash.
money, but he never had cash on him. He always paid in check and stuff.
I'm sure.
And, like, they ransacked it, and his checkbook was, like, thrown everywhere, but there was no cash. They only found $50 in cash.
Oh my
And
God.
it was likely from a $60 check that he had recently cashed.
Oh, my God.
Otherwise, he always paid with check and everything. He kept everything in the bank because he
Yeah.
was smart.
Because he's a good American man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is it smart? I don't know.
Well, it was then, I guess.
Yeah. It's still, my money's in the bank now, but we'll see if we got it later.
It worked out that time. We'll see now.
Oh, God. So, allegedly, Perry stopped Dick from raping Nancy during that whole thing. I don't know how true that is or anything
Perry
like that.
stopped him?
Perry did,
Wow.
I guess.
What
Yeah.
a flash of morals.
I guess.
Raping
So-
Nancy? That's fucked up.
I know, the
girl?
fucking little girl. Yeah, it's super fucked up.
I mean, it's fucked up for any of them. But,
Honestly,
you know,
yeah.
it's worse when it's a child.
But I mean, I guess the saving grace is they all just were killed point blank in the head. Like,
I guess.
the torture, though, of being bound up, not knowing what's going on, and you hear everybody being shot. And I think Perry said because Nancy wasn't gagged, she was like begging for for her life, and he still shot her.
Ugh.
So they ransack the home, get a small radio, a pair of binoculars, and about $50 in cash.
Binoculars can be pretty expensive.
I suppose. I think it was like
Probably not
that
worth a life.
No. It's like they probably ran out with like $200 worth of stuff. I don't know. I'm just speculating and guessing.
That's like
how
on a
much it was.
high end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that then was probably like, I don't know what, $3,000? I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But not enough for 4 lives, yes. So the men fled the home with their lame ass loot and they skipped the country and they run to Mexico to get away, right?
Okay.
So
That's a far drive.
that's their plan. I guess, I know, but they can go south. I don't know how long it
Still.
would take to get there. Yeah.
Imagine a long time. Gotta go through Texas.
Right? Ugh, fucking Texas is so goddamn big.
Yeah, it never ends.
It never ends. Okay, so the next morning, Sunday, November 15th, 1959, Nancy Clutter's best friend, Susan Kidwell, and another friend named Jolene Katz, they arrive at the Clutter family home. See, because Nancy had invited them over to attend church together. So they show up bright and early.
Yeah.
The
Got
house-
their fucking Sunday best on.
Exactly. The house was strangely quiet, and so the girls knocked and waited. But when no one answered the front door, they walked in, which was normal at the time, right?
No.
Exactly. They called out for Nancy. They walked through the house, and then Susan discovered her fucking best friend Nancy, lifeless on the bed in her bedroom, shot in the head by a shotgun.
Oh my God. That's not a
None of these are clean.
sight.
Yeah, they're all shotguns. Like, that's insane. The girls ran from the house in shock and called for help. Alfred Stocklin, who was the Clutter's hired farmhand who lived nearby, he was the first adult on the scene, and he called the police.
Okay. He didn't hear gunshots over the
I
night?
guess not.
He's
I guess he
probably
was
sleeping.
far enough away.
Yeah. And also, it was
was-
probably not that uncommon or like
Right.
weird to hear. Maybe.
640 acres. I don't know where on the acres he lived.
That's true. That's true.
As authorities arrived and searched the home, they found the rest of the family, obviously. Herbert was in the basement, Kenyon in the playroom, Bonnie in her room, and they had all been murdered execution style. Police found no signs of forced entry or fingerprints or shell casings. So Perry, the platypus, and Dick had worn gloves, and they had to stop to get Perry gloves because Dick brought his own, but Perry didn't have any. It was
He
a
was an
cluster.
orphan.
Yeah, he didn't know.
He
I don't
didn't
know.
have gloves, okay?
Yeah. He doesn't have things.
Yeah. He had a trash bag full of belongings and carried around with him.
Exactly. So this crime scene almost looked surgical, very clean and cold, and there was no motive for the
Right.
everybody loved the family, and they I guess at the time weren't considering that somebody was looking for money or something, because again, it was known he didn't have money, so it was or at least cash laying around. So it's what, we don't understand why everybody was fucking murdered. What is
Yeah.
going on? So the investigation begins, and they're kind of well, I don't fucking get it. And then Floyd Wells, his old cellie, Dick's old cellie, calls the authorities, and he's like, hey, I know Dick. I talked to Dick about Herb, and I know that it was his plan to go steal the money. So I think I know who did the murdering.
So
Rats him out.
Was he also my bad for telling them that they had $10,000 when they fucking clearly didn't, and everyone else apparently knew that they didn't?
I'm sure he was I'll only tell you if you cut me a deal.
Right.
I get out on Saturdays, and I can lick the pomegranates on the wallpaper. I don't know.
Or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Snozberries.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, at least he said something.
At
but
least he said
Jesus.
something, because I don't know that the police would have solved this.
Was he still in prison?
I'm sure. I don't really know
'Cause
for sure.
That'd be why he'd say something.
I'm guessing. Yeah, because otherwise you're mind your fucking business.
Yeah, I'd be like,
don't
I
go
don't
back
know.
there.
I
Yeah.
don't know
I don't
nothing
want to get in
about
trouble
nothing.
for admitting to doing something like you just said. So I'm assuming he was still in prison.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So obviously this was a huge tip for the police, and a manhunt ensues, and investigators discover the pair had fled to Mexico after the murders, and then they had returned to the U.S., and they left a trail of forged checks in their wake. So it was we could follow where you went. And they had changed their identity 500 times, whatever, but they mapped it all out.
Yeah.
They were eventually arrested in Las Vegas on December 30th, 1959. So
Wow.
a month and some change later. During interrogation, both men attempted to shift blame on the other.
I'm sure, yeah.
Perry initially denied any involvement, but later confessed to committing all 4 murders himself, a claim that remains controversial. So I guess it's kind of unclear if Perry killed everybody because of his devotion to Dick. And he said something I guess, I don't know why Perry knows Dick's mom, but I guess he feels bad for Dick's mom or whatever the fuck is going on in Dick's life, because she's a really nice woman. And so he was trying to protect Dick from getting in too much trouble or some shit.
Okay.
And so I guess,
you know who else were nice people?
yeah, the Clutters.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Oh, clearly Perry the Platypus is not in any kind of mental state to
Right.
be calling any shots, but he takes full responsibility for all 4 murders. But I think it's kind of speculated that perhaps Dick killed 2 and Perry killed 2, but I'm not sure who or what.
Okay.
Perry's confession included chilling details about how when he was going to shoot Nancy, he hesitated because she was pleading for her life, and then he eventually just pulled the trigger anyway.
Ugh.
And he later claimed that he felt remorse for it. Dick maintained that Perry had snapped and killed the whole family in a moment of rage. He was like, yeah, that guy is off the fucking cuff. We were just sitting there chatting, and he snapped and killed everybody. It wasn't me.
We were just sitting there chatting in a home where
Coming
we
up
had
with a
just
game
tied
plan.
up all the fucking victims.
Right, I was just here for the money.
Whoa, man, that was out of character.
Even though it was our plan all along to
Yeah.
leave no witnesses.
Uh-huh.
Right. The trial began in March of 1960 in Garden City, Kansas. The defense attempted to argue insanity, pointing to Perry's violent childhood and Dick's head injury and shit, but they were found fit to stand trial. The trial lasted only a few weeks, and the verdict came quickly. They were guilty on all counts. It was pretty easy. The pair were sentenced to death by hanging. That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun. Just out at the gallows.
I guess, in fucking Kansas, huh?
Can you hold hands?
Shit, at the same time? No, they didn't hold hands. They did it like one after the other. Fun fact. The execution...
I would not want to watch someone else go first.
I was just thinking I would want to be the first.
Yeah. Or the second. I don't know. Because, like, work out your kinks, you know?
Oh, fair. See, but, like, if there's any kinks, I don't want to know about them. I just want them to happen.
I guess. Sounds awful, too, though.
God, it all sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the execution was delayed for nearly 5 years due to appeals and stays.
Mm-hmm.
During this time, Truman Capote...
Okay.
Capote?
Al Capote?
Yeah. He, I guess, is a famous American writer known for works like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, okay.
Talk about songs. And he was captivated by a short newspaper article in 1959 about the brutal murders of the Clutter family in Holcomb, Kansas, right?
Okay.
So around the same time, he's reading this newspaper and he's like, holy fuck, that's crazy. The article piqued Truman's curiosity and he immediately saw potential for a bigger story, one that he could like merge the raw facts of true crime with actual storytelling.
Oh, like turn it into a movie?
Exactly, yeah. So he traveled to Kansas with his friend, who was also an author, Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird.
We've heard of that guy.
Was it a guy or a girl?
I don't know.
I actually don't either.
Heard of that person. Sorry.
There you go.
I've heard of that they.
I feel like... Okay, anyway.
I've heard of them. There we go.
So
That
anyway,
works.
Harper Lee and Truman travel to interview everyone connected to the case, including police, locals, and the surviving family members.
Okay.
You know, I feel like it wouldn't be a female in the 60s going to a prison to interview everybody. That wasn't until like the 70s.
Yeah, I feel like it also just wouldn't have been a female that had like a very
Writing a book.
prominent career.
Yeah, who
in
got
the
to write
60s.
a book.
Yeah.
Not that we could appreciate yet anyway.
Right.
Like later.
At that time. Yeah.
Harper Lee was a female.
Oh, shit. You just Googled it?
Yeah, but one of them
had no
androgynous looking
idea.
ones, so it took me a minute to figure out. And the first thing is Harper Lee, LGBTQ plus, whatever, all the letters and everything. I'm like, oh, maybe. Okay, hey, listen.
That's cool.
Here we are. So Harper Lee was a female out there fucking interviewing people in the 60s. Go Harper.
I
Lee.
like that name, Harper. And I would have guessed it was for a girl, but then, like,
All the other things we just deduced.
yeah. You know.
Fucking conditioning of societal norms. Hate it. Anyway, okay, so Truman and Harper are going around interviewing people. Over 6 years, Truman developed a strange bond with Dick and Perry the Platypus.
I don't
especially,
like strange bonds.
I know, especially Perry the Platypus, whom he found to be deeply complex and poetic, because remember, very whimsical and everything, but also just fucking psychotic. Like, I'm going to go hunt for treasure in the jungle, and I'll slit your throat.
Don't get in my way, though.
The result of all these interviews and everything was the book In Cold Blood,
Okay.
which was a groundbreaking nonfiction novel published in 1966 that blurred the lines between journalism and fiction, capturing the chilling details of the murders and the killer's psychology. In Cold Blood became a sensation, revolutionizing how true crime was told with its emotional depth, gripping narrative, and the way it made readers confront the humanity of the perpetrators. Some critics argued that Truman was too close to his subjects and perhaps romanticized them in the book.
Feels like it.
But it didn't stop the book from becoming a classic and spawning the modern true crime genre, which we could all be grateful for.
Oh.
Truman's work left a lasting legacy. He had, in a sense, created the template for the way that we all consume true crime stories today.
Yeah.
So-
Told as a story.
This crime is the reason we all sit here and tell fucking stories, evidently. And fun fact, for my Secret Santa last year, I got the book In Cold Blood. It's like an original fucking signed copy or
Oh,
some
shit.
shit. Yeah, Mike gave it to me.
Oh,
'Cause He's
shit.
so fucking cool
He
and
is
so
so fucking
thoughtful.
cool.
Like, what the fuck? And I was like, what's this? I don't get it. And he was like, how do you not know about this?
Honestly.
I know. So we
I
had to
didn't
cover
either.
We had to
That's
cover
cool.
the case. Exactly. Still haven't read it yet. It's like all in a fucking book jacket and shit. I don't know.
How nice.
So nice. I need to put it in here.
Yeah.
It's going to get ruined in my room. Anyway,
Might
okay,
get red
so
in your room, though.
yeah, it would get red in my room. That is a fair point. Eventually.
Might.
Might. So, on April 14th, 1965, after 1,862 days on death row, Perry the Platypus Smith and Richard Dick Dick Hickok were hanged in Kansas State Penitentiary.
Wow.
Truman, who had become emotionally invested in the case, obviously, was reportedly deeply affected by witnessing the executions.
Well, that was silly to go.
I know. The town of Holcomb has never really fully recovered, and for decades, the house where the murders took place were a grim symbol of innocence that were lost, and people started locking their doors and shit.
Smart.
Now, I think Dick Dick was hanged first at like 11 o'clock or some shit, and then at like noon or 1, Perry the Platypus went. So that's why I was like, could you imagine having to wait for the second round? Like, God damn it, did it happen? Do you know? Do they tell you? Or are you just like, I don't know what's going on in his world?
You could probably see it from the window. It's like out in the courtyard.
They make a spectacle of it.
I mean, I would. If I owned a prison, I'd make all the prisoners' windows face the gallows.
It's fair.
Just saying.
But that fucking coyote needs its mange pills.
How awful. I wouldn't give him bad conditions. Jesus. If they got mange, I'd treat them for it. But also, if you murder 4 people in cold blood,
I'm gonna hang your ass.
Exhibit A.
Fair. Fair point.
And all your friends can watch.
And clap.
Yeah.
Or cry.
Or cry, whatever. I don't know. Just know that that's what happens to you.
Don't fuck around or you'll find out.
Yeah. Or, not, because capital punishment is bad. I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
I don't either. I love that you don't. Anyway, isn't that fucking crazy?
It is fucking crazy.
This is terrible. If you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to this case, you should go to our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Our handle is at ISGD Podcast. You can come join us on the Facebook group, the Goddamn Pod Group. It takes nothing to join other than agreeing to not be a dick. And then we all hang out and chat. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I was going through that recently, and I started to reply to stuff, and I want to actually go back on there more. I got distracted with life, and I haven't been on Facebook in forever.
I know. I got distracted, too, and I deleted Facebook for a while.
Oh, wow, look at you taking a stance.
I know.
God, they're never going to get your data.
It's not even that. I just got so tired of it.
You're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't have this on here and have mental stability.
Mental health. Yeah. Well, it kept popping up, like, oh, look at this person's story. I'm like, I don't want to.
Stop it.
I really don't want to.
Don't make me do it.
Unless they've had a baby. Don't show me. Jesus.
Okay. Also, you can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com or snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Springfield, California, 91979.
9, and you nailed it.
Crushed
You didn't
it.
even have to think about it.
Didn't even think about it. Just came right out of my mouth.
That's right. We'll see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.